search across the state, and the state has emailed me back to the fact that they're having that problem throughout the state. They just can't get beef processed fast enough. They're out a year and a half at the most. I also see that there's a bunch of traffic. I'm right next door to Black Height. Thank you guys for what you do. And you have a bunch of traffic going there, so I think, anytime that we can expand our economic boundaries as far as creating jobs and ensuring that, all the requirements are met, that is something that, that we should welcome to our community. I don't know how the rest of the commissioners feel, but if you have any questions or comments, please chime in.
No, it's a definite need across the whole country right now, meat processing, and I wish you the best of luck. I have no issue with it.
Yeah. As mentioned, we have a lot of work to do ahead of us. It's not by far any means of an easy business to put together. We'll be highly regulated, so not only will we purposely be a good citizen, but will be regulated as such also.
I think it's a great idea, and it goes back to our adage with economic development, trying to get more stuff to come to town and more people to move to town. They'll have some jobs. I'm all for it.
Judy?
Yeah, I think it'd be great. My questions have been answered. I think the biggest question I had brought to me was, what's the length of time they had to be? Are they brought in and slaughtered the same day, or does it get to the point if it grows really a whole bunch? Can there be 100 or 200 out there? But it sounds like they're brought in and they're slaughtered. And
If it's scheduled right, they should be brought in and slaughtered the same day.
I think it's great.
Stephen?
Any more questions?
Thank you for coming and enlightening us.
Thank you.
I wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
We move on to item number 4, consent agenda, items A through D. The August 17th commission meeting minutes, August 24th special commission meeting minutes, the August 31st special commission minutes, appropriations ordinance 2020-17, 2020-17A, 2020-17B, and 2020-P17A. I entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll move.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Thompson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner JJ. Any questions or concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Thompson?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Garcia?
Yes. Move on to item number 5, ordinance and resolutions, ordinance 1732.
Commissioner Garcia, did I miss the public comment session?
Yes, we just asked if anybody had any
I
questions.
somehow missed that. I'm sorry.
Actually,
I think we thought we were still in public hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, so, do you have some comments?
I would like to make a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia and other commissioners for listening to me. My name is John Edrich. Live out by the airport. I'm very concerned about the odor. I was glad to hear the city manager, Andrew, bring that up. I've got some concerns about the odor of that facility out there if it becomes a slaughterhouse. And I'd also like to take this time to tell you guys that the stench at the sewer this year has been unbearable. It's set a new record. I mean, it's nasty. So I would appreciate it if you guys would take care of that. And I don't know what the problem is, but something's wrong. It needs to be fixed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we will officially close the meeting at 5:16. And thank you, Mr. Haney, for your...
You're welcome.
Okay, Andrew?
Mayor, Commissioners, Ordinance 1732 is in your agenda packet. That would be the action item from the public hearing. The ordinance as written approves the conditional use permit without conditions. So again, that would be a commissioner discretion if you wanted to add anything before potential approval. But
I think all the answers and questions have been answered, so I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1732.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion by JJ and a second by Commissioner Ferris. Any questions, concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Ferris,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Brumbault,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Move on to item number 6, formal actions, unfit structure at 1521 Kansas Avenue. Andrew?
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, 30 days have lapsed since
Thank
this
you.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Item was last addressed before the city commission at the August 3rd meeting. Commissioners did approve Resolution 1567, which designated the property at 1521 Kansas Ave as an unfit structure. It was given 30 days to remedy or make substantial improvements to the property. I believe we have some photos of the property to display. But Josh, do we have photos? This is the property as of today. The city has seen no improvement to the property. So at this time, staff is recommending that this property be put out for abatement, which would include demolition of the property site.
Any questions for Andrew? I think we've had enough discussion on this particular property, and we do need to move forward and improve the aesthetics in that geographical location. So I would entertain a motion to proceed for the infrastructure at 1521 Kansas.
I move.
Motion by Commissioner Thompson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by JD. Any questions, any concerns? Mary, read the roll.
Brumbault,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Thank you. Move on to item number 7 under item A, Topside Aquatics incentives. Andrew?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I think we have some representatives from Topside Aquatics here this evening, so I definitely invite you all to speak on the nature of their request. But it's my understanding that the request is that the organization, which has been given discount utility rates for 6 months as part of the city's incentive package, I believe they are requesting that the city continue those incentives, I believe permanently, but again, I don't want to speak for anyone, so.
Sharon?
We'd like to put you on the spot here.
No, I was ready. Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing us to come tonight. New commissioner since I was last here, so I'll give a quick background. I'm Shannon Cure, on the board for Topside Aquatics. We are an above-ground nonprofit, or above-ground pool nonprofit organization. It's a fitness facility that is open to the entire community and the surrounding communities as well. We put quite a bit of work into it, and we opened up on February 1st, and then we had to close the middle of March because COVID hit. So we're still kind of trying to recuperate from the COVID shutdown. Reopened on June 1st and have been operating ever since with no issues. We don't truly have a full year of history to kind of see where all of the finances are going to end up, but we worked really hard to set a membership rate that was reasonable for the community, a lot of it just to get people in the door. So we do need quite a few members to make this work, and several programs. You know, right now we offer several fitness programs, including, of course, lap swimming. We have an aqua Zumba class, aqua bike class, and some couple water aerobics classes that are benefiting our entire community and very popular. I think we will be seeing more members coming back now as we're getting into fall and winter, they're not able to walk outside and do outdoor activities as much. So we're excited for that. Our incentive that we had set up started February 1st. So part of that was during COVID, that our incentive was that we were using that. We did shut down everything that we could at the pool at that time, with the exception of things that needed to run just to keep the water clean and whatever. So we did shut down as much as we could and applied for grants with the Sherman County Community Foundation. They had some COVID grants out there, so that helped us through that a bit. But we would like to continue this incentive if we could. We do right now have 188 annual memberships from this community. And then we have 7 monthly memberships as well. 3 of those members are from Bird City, 2 of them are from St. Francis, and we have 2 from Bethune that had stopped in, and they're planning on getting a membership as well. So we are generating some surrounding community interest, and as well as Burlington, we've had several people stop in and visit the facility, and so we know we're gonna start pulling in more from out of town, which is good for Goodland, and good because they're all gonna stop and shop at some point in time. So we've got, it's been such a popular thing. We used Hanson grant money to fund the facility, so we will be featured in the next Northwest Kansas magazine that'll be coming out, and we've already been getting some phone calls from some people in Connecticut recently that have come across us, and they're kind of in a situation where pools are closed down and people are looking for different options like this, something that they can do outside of a normal in-ground pool. We've also created several school partnerships with the tech college. Their athletic programs are going to start coming in starting this fall. And then we also have a partnership with the school. Currently they're using it for a student that is handicapped and comes in and this is part of his curriculum. He was having to travel to Colby and was missing some of his school day just in travel time. So they were really excited. They had 2 students last year. This year they have 1. But we're really reaching out, trying to build all of these great things in this community, be beneficial to the community, and pull in the surrounding communities as well. We're completely volunteer. We have no payroll or anything. So our bills are just our bills, our electric bills, our rent, our anything that we need to put in the water to keep it clean. We are a saltwater pool, so we do economically, that's a better option than any of the chemicals that some of the other pools use. So I guess that's kind of where we're standing. Right now, it looks as though, I think if we were to go, this is the last month of our incentive. If we were to, I think, then go into the regular utility rates, we will almost double our rates. And that, right now, that's just not even doable for us with where we stand right now and trying to kind of get things fired back up. So that's what we'd like to propose, either another 6-month extension to the incentive, maybe then revisit at that point in time about anything further beyond that, or we look more towards a permanent partnership to keep a community, a nonprofit facility that's benefiting the community in this way.
So just so the commissioners, I kind of want just to expound a little bit, Shannon, on the fact that Shannon and the board, when they first started, worked very aggressively and assertively in trying to compile all the different pieces in order to bring this to a fruition, and they've done a tremendous job. It is an asset to the community from many respects. One of the things that is on the discussion that the commission would bear in mind, that she's not coming up here and asking for anything freebie. She would still continue to pay, the utility rates. I think that the supplement that we would be doing is creating another venue to ensure that this project that they've brought to fruition continues to go forward. And as we see, they're reaching out to the tech college, to the school, and to other communities. But even without that, the fact that they were able to bring this thing to our community and has been as successful as they possibly can, is something that we need to bear in mind. So thank you for the
Thank you.
hard work that you've done. I'm sure that the commission will take all these things into consideration. Any questions for Shannon?
You said annual membership, what's an annual membership cost?
An annual membership for a single individual is $240. And then we have it graduated. If you come in with a 2-person family, 3-person, 4-person, you continue to save money with the bigger family size that you bring in. The family size 3 to 4 is $360, and I think the family size 5 and above is $420. So pretty good, very, very reasonable when you consider some of those families come in and try to use the facility regularly. So some of them are really getting their money's worth out of that rate, and have actually even said, some of those coming from out of town, they couldn't believe we were as low as we were. That isn't the plan forever. I mean, I think once we hit February 1st of next year, we need to readdress where our membership rates are at, and we'll probably need to incorporate some sort of percentage increase. But we are still just trying to get the interest and to kind of get people in the door, and usually, for the most part, some of them, once they're in, they're sold and they feel good, and it's something they know they want to exercise there and be a part of it. And so I think for the most part, it's just kind of getting people in the door at this point, but we are going to need to increase our membership at when we hit our annual opening date, I guess, so.
Any other questions? Garrett?
I think we ought to extend it for another 6 months at least.
Sure. That's, I'm in all agreement, so, we just need to stand behind them, and this has been a great addition to our community, so we'll bring it back, and we ensure that, the other commissioners, JD, do you have anything to?
Yes, I'm no longer on the board. I gave someone else an opportunity, but I don't think I voted last time because of that, but, I just wanted to get that out there, but, I think the cost of the electric at full rate would probably be almost double the rent even, so it'd be the highest. It's kind of a unique situation, because that's the largest expense that's not going to go away. Maybe $2,400 if it went to full rate.
Because right now, we have 2 big dehumidifiers that are mounted at the ceiling. They pretty much have to run all day long to keep the humidity in the building at the right level. That's really our biggest. The fans and dehumidifiers are probably our bigger expenses. The pool, of course, it's running, filtering the water. I don't know that that's a real major expense, but I definitely know our dehumidifiers and fans and everything, just to keep the building dry enough that we're not creating a mold issue or anything there, so.
No, I'm definitely for extending it. We can revisit, but I think there's a good argument to be made for a permanent solution to them as well, but that might be for a later date, but, so.
Any questions?
I had a lot of internal conversation with myself about this over the last couple of days. I thought about it. And, on one hand, as far as fairness, I suppose community fairness, if we extend this for you guys, who else is going to be coming up saying, hey, how come we're not getting our utility rates at cost? And how much of this we're going to have to do with the other. On the other hand, I have a soft spot for nonprofit organizations, for the community. They're a great asset to the community. I kind of came to the conclusion that I think the answer is probably in the middle somewhere. Maybe we extend for another 6 months, and during that time frame, we as a commission have a greater conversation about maybe making a permanent price point for nonprofits regarding their utilities in the community.
All right. Okay, Shannon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we move on to item number B, accessible parking space on Main Street. Andrew?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. We did receive a request for, it's my understanding, for removal of the accessible, handicapped, disabled parking space at the corner of 11th and Main. Mayor, I know you had some conversations on this, so maybe I'll defer to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so I'm sure maybe some other commissioners got some calls, I know I did. And I had visited with Darla Mossbarber, who is the owner of the Heirloom Baby Boutique, and I think we have come to a solution on how to keep everyone happy. If you look at the pictures, can we put that picture up there, Andrew? Well, that's not even necessary. Anyway, so you
Is it-
commissioners are looking,
It's in my manager memo. Okay. Display that.
that way everybody can look at it.
How long is it decides to load?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna Gary this and have it, I was gonna hand him over. Very good. So, I had Darla and I met, and I think we found a solution that will benefit everyone involved. Darla understands the sensitivity.
You're talking about in the yellow.
Yeah, Well, not just between the yellow and
Because the parking is on the other side of that line.
Are you
the,
saying
right,
just?
we're gonna,
just
she's gonna
move the
leave.
sign?
Yeah, only the
Okay,
sign.
I'm
That's-
not moving the
But I don't
That's
know,
only-
is there something that has to do with the sign too, where it has to be placed in the parking area?
Correct. I mean, if you look across the street where the old sofa store is at, it's the exact same thing. You got handicap and you got the sign right there. So it has to be visibly marked for handicap with the sign. And technically, the ground's supposed to have if you want to be technical, has to have the handicap picture on the ground too. But yeah, the reason why you have the yellow, because if you go down Main Street, every corner has those yellow spots there so that people can't park there because of the side triangle issue. So someone can look down and make sure, you know, if they're turning with the light, that they're not gonna get T-boned or hit right there if you take that yellow out. So there's a reason for that, so. But
One other suggestion that we've noticed since we've been there is that our handicapped customers that do park there are the drivers. They aren't really unloading wheelchair people. So it's a long distance. For example, my dad kind of has been that way with his surgeries, just to get him up the step and then to walk down to get his hair cut. So I know it would no longer be van accessible, but it makes more sense to us to put it around the corner and have it non-van accessible so that the drivers can get out and not have to walk around their vehicle to get to the ramp or go up the step. Does that make sense? That's another possibility of just what we've observed from people that pull up and use that space. So it's not here for a fight, it's just
Right.
here to ask, is there something that we can do to make this better for the handicapped people and be in compliance and also open up a storefront a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more apt to, I don't like the idea of getting rid of the van accessible spot. I mean, I don't mind the idea of moving the sign over, but I don't, that'd be a matter of somebody looking into exactly what the regulations are regarding the spot of the sign and the handicap spot itself. If it can be over on the edge of it, or even with a
But you
different
don't
sign
need-
with an arrow next, I mean, I'm not sure what.
I called ADA on it because Andrew Bruner and I, we had this conversation, Friday, not Thursday. Anyways, and even according to which, Andrew, you tell the story, I don't know if you can tell the story, about the whole Supreme Court deal.
Oh, I was just gonna leave it up to whatever your ADA person was gonna say, but
I haven't heard back from him.
that was just canceling out this, well, and I can't remember the exact, it was a US Court of Appeals, I believe, case where it was a city in California versus a private citizen. Private citizen was handicapped. The city didn't have any, either they took a space away or didn't have spaces at all, and they found that it was a requirement of the municipality to go ahead and have those in downtown district. And so I just wanted, if that was an option to get rid of it, I just wanted to make people aware that that was something that was out there that I had found when we were doing research on this topic. So after Brian and I had discussed that, so.
I don't think that the substance of the conversation is to eliminate what you've got there right now. In fact, if I remember the conversation, the blue would still stay right there, right, Darla? Right? All we would be doing, but you can check into it,
Right.
Brian, is to move that to
The
the
sign.
ex, to the
Just
sign.
move
The sign.
Yeah,
We're just talking about the sign, not the entire
right.
sculpture.
No,
Yeah.
exactly,
Just move the
That's
sign.
exactly.
We originally thought maybe part of it was possibly getting rid of it, so that's
No,
why we just
yeah.
kind of dug into it.
Okay.
But
So I just want the commission to understand and be clarified that nothing's being changed. In fact, I wouldn't mind it, Andrew, would paint the yellow up there, which didn't have noticed around town that a lot of those things are getting pretty dull, but you would just be moving the sign over there. In fact, you could even paint a handicap, sign right in front of that blue parking space.
The other option could possibly be putting it on the other end at Hallmark because of Jackie, possibly. I mean,
Maybe
that's
get
another,
to the issue, most handicap vans, you have to have the opening on the right side
that's
of the
right,
vehicle.
then it'd
Yeah.
have to be around the corner again, just like, yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I really do, I would even ask that we put an additional one around the corner. I mean, keep this one here. I'm not here, again, not for a fight, just a way to see if we can improve the looks of all of this on downtown. And the one that's really needed is around the corner where they can get out from their vehicle and then walk up the ramp and into the beauty shop. Because the beauty shop's the one that has a lot of business of handicapped people. So I just want to help take care of people that I see going there too.
Yeah, and I drove down Main Street and kind of just try to eyeball where all the different spots are. I noticed that especially like between 8th and 10th, we seem to be lacking in handicap spots there. I feel like maybe we need to be getting some more out there down on Main Street as well.
They are pretty limited on 8th, yes, so.
I think the initial idea, just for the sake of keeping everybody happy, you know, we've heard from a lot of the ladies that use that are somewhat physically handicapped, some more severe than others, and I think if we would do it that way, we would keep a happy community and everybody, and you would get, you know, you would accomplish of having more visibility through the front stores or something that, you know, the commission.
So, Carl, my question, I guess, is, so let's just say hypothetically, ADA says, no, the sign has to stay. You're talking about doing like, take pictures of the front of the store so you can promote your store and the sign's in the way. So let's just say ADA says that it has to stay there. Possibility that the city could take the sign down, you take a picture and put the sign right back up? I mean,
We're gonna work around it, it's fine, actually, it's just.
I'm just trying to think of plan B, just in case ADA says, no, it has to stay. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I might have someone on board that could just graphically remove it too, so
Okay.
that might be a better option.
All right, as soon as I hear, I left a message for ADA last week, they never called me back, so
Okay.
I'll find out. as soon as
Well,
they call
yeah,
me.
just let Andrew know, and then Andrew, you can email the commissioners.
I
We'll
really
work on it.
appreciate though knowing why the yellow is so big, because that was my biggest thing, why it just seems so far away from ahead of the Times front door to have to
Yeah,
go around or, you know, that way. So
traffic
that was-
safety.
What's that?
It's a traffic safety.
Yeah, now I understand, so that makes it easier. So, I just thought I'd ask.
Thank you,
All right,
Darrell.
we'll look
Thank
into
you.
it, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll move on to item number C, corner lot setbacks, Andrew.
Mayor, Commissioners, you have a draft ordinance in your agenda packet based on our discussions at previous city commission meetings where we're looking at how to address the corner lot issue. Current corner lots are required to abide by the front yard setback on both corners, and then there's essentially an additional 15-foot side yard setback on those corner lots. So I have worked up a draft ordinance for you in your agenda packet, which would essentially eliminate that, instead saying that basically corner lots would have to follow the building line, the established building line of both streets. They're looking at building on a corner lot, and then if there is no established building line, essentially that the side yard be no less than 15 feet, so that there still is kind of a side yard setback, a little bit of a buffer zone, but it's not as significant as kind of what our current code has. So that draft is included in your agenda packet, and it impacts basically 3 different sections of our code. And so the modification would be for R1 and R2 zoning districts. I don't know if there's any questions on the draft ordinance as proposed, but.
I mean, I think it pretty much addresses what we had discussed
Mm.
in previous meetings, so I think it's good.
Commissioners can study that and look at that, and you can bring them back for us.
Yes, I'd bring it back as an action item at the next meeting.
Any questions, Frank?
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
Move on to item D, Uniform Public Offense Code. Andrew, first. Leanne.
So annually, the city has a uniform public offense code and a standard traffic ordinance. So rather than the city go through and define every single misdemeanor, every single crime, every single traffic violation within the City of Goodland, typically what communities do are adopt these codes by reference. The organization that puts them together is the League of Kansas Municipalities, and they compile an annual standard traffic ordinance and uniform public offense code. So we have to update our codes every year based on action that the legislature takes. That modifies state law relating to public offenses and relating to traffic offenses. So that's what Leanne will be speaking with us about this evening.
Okay. So for the first year since I've been here, the state actually put out a 47th edition, which is exactly the same as last year's 47th edition. So there's no changes to it, except for the front. So we did not have to adopt a new standard traffic offense code because it didn't change. So we just kept the ordinance that we had from last year. On the Uniform Public Offense Code, did you put one of these in there?
Yes.
Okay, so the league sent out what changes have been made to the Uniform Public Offense Code. Probably the two biggest ones, the first one was the addition of section 10.29, which is a violation of the public health order that gives the city, the municipal court, police department teeth if someone's in violation of the county health officer's mandates. As you guys all know, our county is pretty lenient right now with the COVID. This just gives the ability to do something if you've got an issue that needs to be addressed. May or may not be in use, don't know, but it's there if we need it. If we don't need it, great, but if it's there, it gives us something to work with. The second thing is the changes to the selling, giving, or furnishing cigarettes or tobacco products to minors. The Federal Food and Drug Cosmetic Act increased the age to 21, from 18 to 21. And it says in here that Kansas had not passed it. It was my understanding they had on January 1st. Jake was going to check that check into it for me and get back with me. I haven't heard from him back. But that most of the cities, I think, in Kansas upped theirs in January to 21. We chose not to, except for the fact we don't really cite that many people anyway, and so we didn't want to go to the expense of publishing and for maybe one or two citations. One warning would probably suffice. I say that, and then I just get a ticket this week for someone. But those are the main changes. The rest of it, some of them were deleted, and some were just wording changes. So did you have any questions over any changes that was on the sheet?
Any questions for Leanne? Thanks, Leanne.
Yeah.
And we move on to item number 8, report city manager.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Just a few items from me. We are starting to kind of ramp up work on our runway 523 reconstruction project with the FAA, meeting with them, having correspondence with them pretty regularly. So we're continue to meet with Andrew and Darren with as our consultants on that. Sometimes it can be frustrating to work with the FAA. We had a meeting with them last week where 2 different divisions had evidently talked to each other, and they got on the call and had to kick us off the call so that they could have an internal discussion about how they were going to proceed with us. So sometimes dealing with the FAA is a real fun time, but regardless, I think we're still making progress there. We do have the van up and running again. I think that we are probably going to proceed with just kind of keeping our van operations as is. I think we're getting some part-time help to maintain operations, but I think that is probably something that the commission will want to look at in the future is, how do we avoid kind of these disruptions of the public transportation ban? On top of that, obviously, have not announced publicly in a meeting, I am resigning my position as city manager for the City of Goodland. My last day in the office will be October 16th. And then lastly, just want to commend and thank Rich Simon, who this will be his last commission meeting as a employee of the City of Goodland. Rich will be retiring on Friday as a 30-year employee of the city. We thank him for everything he's done, and he will be sorely missed.
Thank you.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So that would conclude my report. I would stand for any questions at this time.
Any questions for Andrew?
Any word on the chief of police?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
All right, we move on to item number B. Leanne, you're up again. Municipal. Yep.
I don't have anything else to add from the
All right.
last time I updated you guys about 6 weeks ago, so.
All right, sounds great. Public Power Director,
And Dustin actually had to be gone today, so we will have him report.
we're moving right along. IT Director,
I don't have much.
Good.
No,
Everything for me is about the same as usual, maintaining everything, making sure everything keeps running. I'm doing a little bit more work out at PD right now, updating some of the access control systems and servers and things like that, but usually it's just the day-to-day routine maintenance.
any questions for Jeff? That was short, thank you. City Commissioners Report, we start with JD.
Rich, just happy retirement.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all you've done.
Appreciate it.
All right,
What he said, and also I want to say thank you to Andrew for his years of service, and he's going to be greatly missed.
JJ.
I guess on the same boat, thanks, Rich. And then thanks for all the other employees. The alley behind the GAC is looking good. And are you short on employees still, or one? And the water department's good, treatment plant going good?
As it can be.
Okay.
evidently it smells.
That's okay.
Now, Andrew, so the starting salary, Kenton, should be at 14 right now, right? After,
Correct.
so you guys know, when you advertise, get that raise, we're gonna start them out at 14. So, Gary, anything?
No. Things are good. Thanks for your service, and thanks, Rich, for your service.
My consensus as well, I think we all appreciate the hard work and dedication and commitment to our municipality on behalf of Rich and Andrew. I'm sure that we wish you the best in your future endeavors, and we thank you for all that you do. And so that's all I have as mayor. And if you have any other comments, I'm going to make a motion to recess into executive session under the authority of KSA 75-43, 19B1 for personal matters of non-elected. I request Commissioners and Andrew for a period of 15 minutes. Motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Time is 5:56. Okay, good. Call this meeting back to order at 6:11. There's not any further business within. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Second by Eric. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you guys.
Should be able to see the same